Trine wins at 65-50. I am joined by Thunder head coach Brooks Miller. Coach, what an impressive effort here tonight for your team. You led it wire to wire, handled that press magnificently. What do you have to think about the first action you guys had tonight?
Well, I got to tell you, I've been having nightmares about this game for about 363 days after what they did to us at their place. But I think it was just so remarkable to see the maturity of our guys, Ben, Will, Jared, Tarvis, to handle that pressure. And then we got some great contributions from Kyle Dodson and Suzuki and Craig Lowe off the bench. And you know, I can go right down the list. But we've prepared for a long time for that, defending the three the way they play, trying to handle their pressure without talking about it a whole lot. But that's a really talented basketball team and a great win that we got. But it was a collective effort defensively. I thought we did it. You can't keep guys like that out of the middle over and over again. But I think for the most part, we were able to keep them out of the middle. And when they did, they just had different bodies flying at them. And you know, what can you say? You know, Jared played 39 minutes again. He had 24 and 11. But, you know, you just see the difference in him of what he brings to the table from an energy and a presence standpoint. I think he's really accepted the responsibility of making this a better basketball team and understanding his role. So we're looking forward to getting back to full strength here, hopefully. You know, Ellis will be back on Thursday. He knows his responsibilities. He's got to get taken care of. Got to have a great practice tomorrow. And but I thought we handled the pressure really well. But that's a very talented basketball team we were able to beat tonight.
Coach, Heidelberg last year plus 8.5 in the turnover margin. Your team plus 7 here tonight with just 9 turnovers against this team, and you committed 17 turnovers against them last year. What specifically did you do well tonight to avoid that turnover?
Well, you know, Ben took it upon himself to, you know, we were talking about breaking a press and this and that, and I've been talking to people all year long trying to figure out what we got to do to try to have a chance to beat these guys the way they play with the athletes they can put on the floor. And Ben said, just give me the ball, coach. Just get everybody out of my way. And so that's really what we did. We didn't run anybody to the middle. We didn't do anything else. We just got the ball to Ben. Everybody else got out of the way. And, you know, Kyle Dodson's IQ, Jared's experience, Will's experience, Tarvis's focus, you know, when there had to be a cut to be made to go to the basketball, I think we did that. You know, it's hard to comment a whole lot without watching the video, but the one thing I do know is we have some hard-playing sons of guns, and I think anybody that watches us practice or has seen us play, these guys really, really compete hard. And as a coach, it makes your job a little bit easier because you're not worried about the energy. You know, we talked about the new guys coming in, of understanding how hard you have to compete in a possession up and down. You know, and that's what they're going to grow into that. They're going to understand it because they got great leaders to feed from. So that's what gives you a chance to win a game like this. You know, they had to travel. It's a Monday night, had class today, 2.5 hours. And you have to match that with great intensity. You have to make them that's why playing on the road is so difficult in college basketball, whether we're here in Angola, Indiana, or, you know, somebody's traveling up to Michigan State, up to Lansing to play. It's a difficult thing to do. I thought we had great support tonight from our administration, our families, our students. It was great. It was a great night. I was really proud of the effort. And that's, you know, control the things you can control. You and I talk about that all the time. And you give yourself a chance, and I thought we did that.
Coach Jared Holmquist, 24 points, 11 rebounds. The thing I noticed tonight the most was the expansion of his game. Handled the ball near midcourt, would drive, was very successful getting to the hoop early in this ball game. Was a post player, undersized for your team the first year or so. And you mentioned to me earlier that he's gone from a great post player to maybe one of the best wings in this league. What has his expansion been like as a player over the years?
Well, his feet have gotten so much better, and I think he can tell you, you know, when he got here, and we've talked about it before, I mean, I joke with him about it now. You know, he couldn't go up and down the floor 2 or 3 times without falling. And his feet, he's worked so hard. You know, this is a guy that without telling him in his off season, either between his freshman and sophomore year or sophomore and junior, I think it was a sophomore and junior year, he decided, I think I need to be a runner. Somebody told him that. It wasn't me. So he started running, you know, he was running miles at a time, whether it was working on a 5K or a 10K, whatever it was. And Coach Lindsay will swear, he goes, that's probably what, you know, that really helped his footwork, his feet. He kind of slimmed down a little bit. bit. But, we're really excited about it because once we get Ellis back in the lineup, now he can play that more 4 spot instead of being a 5, and we can mix and match some different things. Ellis can take some pressure off him defensively, although I think, again, as well as he did tonight offensively in attack, it was his defense. How many times did you see him put a chest on a driver, him be in the gap early to discourage a guy because he's in the right position? But he's a senior. And I think, you look at Sloan Whitaker coming in, playing a handful of minutes for us in his entire career. We just figured, hey, let's go with the guy we trust, the guy that's been here the most, and he plays 11 quality minutes for us. Will played 35, and that was probably a stretch. But Sloan was able to go in and help him out. And then, another senior, Tarvis, he's 3 for 8 from 3. And if you ask me a perfect game for him, that's what I hope at the end of the year. I hope we can say he's 3 for 8 every night. If that's what it averages, 37.5% of my math right there. I had Randy Rabb as an 8th grade math teacher, so I'm really proud of that. But, Tarvis, if he can do that for us and stretch defenses, then we have a chance to be really good. Because he can, and he's just such a competitive guy, and he's battled. He's waited his turn. So we have seniors, and seniors win in college basketball. They'll give you an opportunity to win. But we got a great challenge coming up for us on Thursday. We got North Park, who just beat the number 17 team in the country, and the University of Chicago at their place. And they got us last year at their place. And then I thought that game at their place really flipped our season as far as knowing where we had to go. But they're a very, very talented basketball team. Juwan Henry's a 13 preseason All-American. I think he had 29 the other night. Jordan Robinson's one of the most versatile guys we'll play against, a lot like a Blackledge, type of player. So we're excited about that challenge, and we know we got a lot of work to do, but it was exciting to get a win to start the year because these guys have worked so hard for that.
Coach, you told me on the pregame show that you wanted Dixon and Soroka to get 10 rebounds between them. Will Dixon had 8 rebounds tonight with 14 points. Certainly had the job done in that respect.
Yeah, and there they had 10. So our guards, when we had to play small like that, and we hopefully won't have to play that small, although it's nice to know that we can. Those guys have to rebound. Tarvis has got to come up with loose balls. Will's got to do it. Ben's got to do it. Dotson, I challenged him in the locker room at halftime. He had 0 at the half. So I told him he had to get 2 or 3 if we had any chance of winning this basketball game. And then he came out he hit 3 threes and then had a heat check one. He probably should have kept in the pocket. But he's got a high basketball IQ. And I'm excited about him because he understands it. And he brings a nice added piece to the group.
Coach, they cut it to 5 at halftime. Holmquist had that shot before the buzzer, but early in the second half, they struggled with the perimeter defense, and your team made some shots. Talked about how dangerous they can be with Tarvis, Malone, and Dotson making some threes for your team, and that turned the game around early in the second half.
Well, you have to make shots, and I think we've won a few games here shooting 38%, which is what we shot at halftime. And I looked at Coach Lindsay and Doug, I said, here we go again, 38%. But I thought we were able to make a more focused effort at getting the ball into the paint. In the first half, I think we were 9 of 15 in the paint and 1 of 10. We were 1 of 9 from 3, but we took a 20.5-foot jumper that we didn't need to take. So the focus of getting it into the paint and then inside out. But again, I think guys get sick and tired of garden cutters, fighting around screens. But we have to have the mental fortitude to understand that this is hard. It's hard to win a game. You have to commit yourself to 40 minutes of physically killing yourself and still being able to make the right play. Jared's 2-foot jump stop here late in the game underneath the basket that probably sealed the game. Those are things that are hard to do. It's like a boxing match for guys like Ben, Will, and Jared, who are constantly getting into the paint because there are paint presence, especially without Ellis in the game. So that's what we have to have. Teams in this conference are successful when they get the ball in the paint. We didn't rebound well enough tonight, but we fortunately rebounded. I thought we were a timely rebounding team. We never let them get into an offensive rebounding rhythm, so to speak, where I think that's happened to us in the past. So, but again, you got Jared in there. He's not going to allow it.
Coach, you talked about the run they had last year. You never gave them a chance tonight to have that run. A lot of it had to do with that defense, holding them to 33%. What did you do well defensively?
Well, again, I think last year we were at their place, and they had a long drive over here. They're 2 for 17. That has a little bit to do with it. But I think we were really concerned on keeping them out of the middle, guarding half the floor, and then challenging shots. And I thought there's a couple times where they thought they had open looks, and Tarvis is just flying around. Will's flying around. And Ben, the energy he had to exert at both ends of the floor was remarkable. We put him on He was responsible for Kerry Benny, who was the freshman of the year in that conference last year, averaged 16 a game. And then when he was out, he had Marquise Taylor, who I think is one of the best guards in Division III. And then Ben still got to get the ball across the half court for us. So, I just think there was an energy about the group tonight that's been there. That it has been there, but it was nice to really see it in game action and see them be rewarded for that.
Coach, congratulations on the win, and good luck on Thursday against North Park.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. We're going to need it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Brooks Miller, head coach of the Trine Thunder, as Trine comes up with a victory here tonight, defeating Heidelberg in the season opener 65-50.
Thank you for listening to Trine University Athletics on WEAX.